Hi, good afternoon. I am going to talk about spirituality slash religion today. So, if that is not of interest to you, and you know exactly how you feel about that and don't really want to entertain um, miscellaneous ideas that I might put out there, then please feel free to just, skip on to another video. Maybe come back and see me when I'm talking about something else. Um, First of all, not first of all, but second of all, I want to thank anybody who was kind enough to tell me to get over my diverticulitis, which I am pretty much have. I believe it's mostly gone, and I just have to be gentle with myself and careful what I eat and all the rest of it. I'm in my 70s, so I don't I can't expect to eat like I'm 25. So thank you. Thank you for any kind thoughts or words. So now, spirituality and religion. The reason I'm talking about that at all is that I think a lot of us in these troubling times have been doubling down on our spiritual path, or we have been exploring other spiritual paths, or we have thrown up our hands and gone, there's no point in any spiritual path. Whatever has been happening, I have noticed that a lot of people are, I'd say, spiritually evolving and becoming a little bit more inquisitive about things that they might not have even wanted to take a peek at previously. And that is definitely what I have been doing. Although, even as a child, I was very much inquisitive and thinking along the lines of, well, I'm not sure that what I'm being told is exactly the right thing, or if it's really all that there is to talk about. I was raised Episcopalian. And for those of you who don't know, the Episcopal Church is a Protestant church. It was founded when when Henry VIII wanted to marry Anne Boleyn, and the Pope did not want him to. And he decided that you can take a hike, Pope. Pope, I am going to marry Anne Boleyn and get rid of Catherine of Aragon, to whom I have been married for many, many years. And so I'm going to declare myself the head of the Church of England, which is what it's now going to be, and Mary Anne Boleyn. So there. And oh, I'm also going to grab all the wealth from the monasteries and ha ha ha, a little extra perk for me. So it was not exactly the best way to found a religion in terms of, good reasons and purposes, but that's how it came about. And of course, when it came to America, they didn't call it the Church of England anymore, being that this is not England. So it became the Episcopal Church. And I have to say that as churches go, it was fine. It was kind, it was nice. Hell was not mentioned really very much. That was not polite to even talk about. If you use the wrong fork at dinner, that might be an issue, but hell, not so much. However, it did become clear to me as I was growing up that my church and other churches, other Christian churches, were of the mind that if you were not a Christian, then you were going to hell. Sorry, but that's what's going to happen to you. That's what, the belief system was. And more, I felt that that simply was not true. That many, many good people of different faiths or no faith were not going to be treated that way by God. I really, really felt that way. And I had my own reasons for feeling that way since I had well, here I'll talk about something weird, which, here's the crazy and the crazy old lady, crazy old LA lady. I had memories from pre-birth. I had memories of choosing my parents. I had memories of not being incarnated yet. I had memories of coming down into my mother with a jolt. And I remember coming down, and thinking, I'm not going to forget. But I basically did forget almost everything anyway, because you do. That's what happens. Um, and I remember being in the womb. I remember my birth. I remember a lot of things that you weren't supposed to be able to remember. Was not supposed to be something that children could remember, but I did. And I had always had those memories, so I sort of thought, well, that doesn't seem to fit the scenario that they're talking about. And more, I've started to believe in reincarnation and that this is just one of many lives that I have led and that almost everyone has led, although not everybody would come down here and incarnate. They say, well, the numbers don't work out. If reincarnation is right, Melanie, the numbers, I was like, well, not everybody comes down here. There are lots of places to go. This is one place to go. So, if any of that rings a bell for you, and you have been looking around for some places to explore that a little bit or think about that a little bit, then I actually had some sites that I started going on in the last few years that had some interesting people tackling various issues along these lines and talking about various issues. Now, none of this may resonate for you at all, or you may already have completely, gotten on the road that you need to be on, and this is not at all helpful. If it's not, then, as I said, move on, and I'll see you maybe in the next video when I'm talking about something you want to talk about. But one of the main things I started looking at as a channel on here was Next Level Soul with Alex Ferrari. He used to be in the business, and so his channel is kind of polished a little bit more than some other channels because he has that show business background. And if you want to listen to things about NDEs and near-death experiences, things like that, he's got a lot of different stories about that. One of the things about his channel that I like is that he puts out a lot of different people with differing viewpoints, or sometimes shades of viewpoints that go off in this direction or this direction or this direction. You're not going to, I think, resonate with everybody. You're not going to agree with everyone, and I don't see any reason that you should. But if you want to explore, if you want to look around, and especially if you're interested in near-death experiences, and people, going to the other side and coming back, that is a place that a lot of people have been on talking about their experiences and sometimes how it changed their life. And well, it always changed their life, but in terms of how they came back, maybe sometimes with abilities they didn't have before, or, a life mission that they didn't have before, that kind of thing. And it's interesting. So now, one thing I will warn you about with his channel that I don't particularly like, and you might not either, is that it can have these kind of alarming titles on it, like, warning for the next, the spirits warn us about some emergency warning, urgent warning, something, something like that. I think that's a leftover from his show business background, is like how to get people to click on a channel, tell them that something scary is going to happen. But when you listen to the video, it's not going to be like that. It is not fear-based. It is not like when you listen to it, it's not like, oh, man, that's it. We're all dead. That's that. No, it's not like that kind of thing. But sometimes the titles will look like that. So just pay no attention to that. It's just, I think it's just promotion is what it is, so he's been told that's what he should do. Another one that I like it because it's just kind of a cozy kind of comfortable, another elderly woman. She's not as old as me. I think she's in her 50s or something, but kind of vibe, just chatting with you. And she does dowsing rods and tarot cards sometimes. And that's her channel, is Ask the Spirit Guides with Karen. Spirit guides are something that I believe that we all have. And of course, not everybody does, but I believe that we do. And So that's a good one. Ask the Spirit Guides with Karen. But she's very chatty and very. Usually has a coffee cup, and she does her coffee with Karen in the morning sometimes too. She's pretty cool. I resonated with her. I liked her because she was very, and she's very humble. She doesn't have big. I'm not some major psychic person. She's not like that. Another one is a British gal, Nikki Allen, psychic medium, and she was quite well known in Britain and has been quite well known over the years and has written actually a couple of books as well. And she's very British. She used to be a cop, actually, so she's got this kind of, attitude, like she's been around the block, and she's kind of fun. And she talks to the angels, and she's a medium, and she has a lot of things to say. So you might want to check her out. She may or may not resonate with you again. It's a kind of, well, I don't know whether you do with these people. Another one is Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology, and Spirituality. That gal's Australian, and she talks about politics a lot and the political situation here and in Australia and in other parts of the world. Usually the UK and Australia and America is what she'll often talk about. And she does tarot readings largely, is what she does, and a little bit of a psychic stuff too, but mostly tarot card readings. Another one that's kind of interesting is Cash Peters. He's a British psychic, and you can find him with the Enlightened Beings Club, and he does what are called transition pictures. And he will look into the energy of people who have died or into the energy of a particular situation, and he will draw pictures, not anything elaborate, just little stick figure kind of things, as what he sees psychically is happening or did happen with that person. You may or may not find that interesting. I think a lot of people do. I think he has quite a few followers, but that's another site that's kind of interesting. You may have your own sites you would like to put in the comments, your own channels you'd like to mention that you feel that I have not touched on. I have, there's lots and lots of channels, and I certainly don't. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. No, I think that was it. Those are not the only ones that I ever look at, but those are the main ones that I tend to peek in on from time to time. And especially now with the political situation, it's like, well, how do we deal with this, and how do we feel about it on a spiritual level? Because there's the practical day-to-day level of what we're dealing with and how we should address it practically. But there's also the spiritual level, which is, I feel, even more important with what we're going through and how we should internalize that and how we should deal with it. So that's kind of the overview. Again, my spiritual views are very, I know, out there. And a lot of people would not agree with them. There's also a lot of people who would, but it depends on how you feel about the matter. I would never try to drag anybody off their path and tell them that they need to do this or look at that, or you're doing the wrong thing or anything. If what you are doing is working for you, then you are doing the right thing. Then you are in the right path for you. My attitude is, all roads lead to the mountaintop. That is my feeling about that. So your path may lead you in a completely different way, and you don't want to hear about any of this, and it doesn't resonate with you, and that's totally fine if that's the case. I'm looking for things that might help you, that might help me, that might help any of us as we navigate these very difficult and challenging times. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do right now. So this is just one way I was thinking about putting a little information out there. I hope that you're all managing to get through day to day. I know it's really hard right now. I know it's very challenging, very anxious making. There's a lot going on that's terribly difficult to deal with, and I hope you are managing to get through. And I send you light and love, and have a good rest of your week. Now let's stop the video, shall we?